pressure explodes now.
They locked the gates, then lost the key.
The Shutdown Standoff, in theaters now.
Washington's at a breaking point tonight. Federal workers are standing in food bank lines. Military families don't know how they'll afford Thanksgiving dinner. And now explosive documents reveal Democrat leaders are literally begging Trump for a meeting to end the chaos. What you're about to see exposes the raw desperation gripping the swamp as Trump prepares to deploy the nuclear option that could change the Senate forever. The establishment knows their time's up, and they're panicking. This isn't just about a budget fight anymore. This is about who really controls America's destiny. So stay with me. As we wrap up 2025, though, it's time to reflect. Uncertainty isn't temporary anymore. It's our new reality. Waiting for normal isn't a plan. It's a gamble. For over a decade, Noble Gold Investments has helped Americans protect their families by diversifying with gold and silver. Real wealth isn't digital. It's physical. It's lasting, and it's yours. Nobody knows what 2026 brings, but in uncertain times, precious metals provide stability. This holiday season, surrounded by family, remember, the best gift isn't under the tree, it's peace of mind. Noble Gold delivers that peace 1 ounce at a time. So before year's end, take one smart step towards a safer future. Visit nextnewsgold.com for your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. And call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347, and find out how you can get 10 1-ounce silver holiday coins with qualified accounts. So this is the letter that was sent by Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer to President Trump. We write to demand a bipartisan meeting of legislative leaders to demand, right? They're demanding. We write to demand a bipartisan meeting of legislative leaders to end the GOP shutdown. Of course, they call it the GOP shutdown of the federal government and decisively address the Republican health care crisis. Democrats stand ready to meet with you face to face, anytime, any place. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And of course, that's how President Trump always signs off on his social posts as of late. But look at the language here. I mean, the GOP shutdown, Republican healthcare crisis, demand a meeting, right? Yeah, seems real friendly there. But we got this from Delta Airlines. This is a couple hours ago. Delta Airlines tells Pete Muntean it will preemptively cancel 170 flights on Friday as part of the government directive to scale back flights. The carrier says mainly regional flights will be canceled. 2 hours ago, this is from Rapid Response 47. United also canceling hundreds of flights originally scheduled for tomorrow due to the Democrat shutdown. This could have been avoided if Democrats simply did their jobs. Instead, they chose chaos. And here's the notice that's being sent out to United passengers. Your flight is canceled due to an FAA-mandated airspace restrictions. Due to FAA-mandated airspace restrictions during the government shutdown, your safety is our priority, and we know the change of plan is inconvenient. We're working hard to get you to your destination as soon as possible. Hundreds of flights on United, Delta as well. Where were those families going? President Trump had this to say in an interview with Bret Baier, that the Democrats have become radicalized lunatics.
As soon as they do. Is there a deal that can be made to end this government shutdown in your mind?
Well, I think the Democrats have become radicalized. I think, this never happened before. They always extend. An extension is very easy. It's done all the time. You extend, sometimes you extend 4 or 5 times. I mean, they become radicalized lunatics, actually, in a true sense. They should automatically extend, and we will make a deal as soon as they do. As soon as they do, we'll make a deal.
We'll make a deal. A deal that can be made?
We will make a deal. Well, we're learning that that deal revolves around the demand. Let's see, where's the message we have? Yeah, Bernie Sanders. Democrats will not support any bill unless there's a commitment from Mike Johnson and Donald Trump to sign a bill to extend the ACA tax credits. Is that it? That's what's holding this up? They demand that Johnson and Trump sign a bill to extend the ACA tax credits. So when do you sign it? You sign it after the government's reopen? Are you asking them to pledge to sign it and then government reopens, then they have the bill, and then how does this work, Bernie?
What? Where does it go? There is some discussion about bipartisan negotiations. And I want to be very clear. If these negotiations say that we're going to pass legislation that will extend the credits, tax credits for the Affordable Care Act, count me in, that's great. But there has to be a commitment that the Speaker of the House is on board. There has to be a commitment that the President of the United States is prepared to sign the bill. Bottom line is we need to be successful in protecting the health care of the American people. And if it's just a piece of legislation that passes the Senate with either 50 votes or 60 votes, so what? Where does it go? Then it becomes just a meaningless gesture. You can go home, well, I voted for a piece. That's good. But the
okay, so how about this? Okay, yeah, we'll sign it. We'll sign the bill. Let's see the bill. Oh, guess what? We changed our mind. How about that? Is that good enough for you? Just say, well, we'll sign it. I mean, politicians change their mind all the time, right? Trump, American revivalist, Trump should write a letter of acceptance back as long as they all wear sombreros to the meeting. That's too funny. When military members are hurting, Kayleigh McEnany, former White House press secretary under the first Trump administration, had this to say.
Military members are hurting. Let me make this really simple. No one's winning, not Republicans, not Democrats, when military members cannot pay their bills, when air traffic controllers are calling out because they get zeros on their paycheck, when our safety is at issue in the skies. No one is winning. We are all losing. And why? Because Democrats, they got a chance to vote to pay the military. Fine, you don't want to open up the government? How about pay the military essential workers? Guess how many Democrats voted to do that? 3. John Fetterman, Raphael Warnock, and John Ossoff. 3 Democrats voted to pay the military. Now John Kennedy says, let's vote to remove our pay until military members get paid. Can't wait to see how many Democrats vote on that. Let me propose a very simple.
Yeah, that's what John Kennedy did say. We have his remarks here. Let's get to that. Removing the pay. We did have his remarks here. Yeah, here it is. Kennedy said he's bringing 2 shutdown-related bills to withhold congressional paychecks.
Down Paychecks Act. President, I'm going to be uncharacteristically brief. Tomorrow I will be bringing 2 bills before the Senate. They both have to do with the shutdown and congressional pay. The first bill is the No Shutdown Paychecks Act. The second bill is the Withhold Member Pay During Shutdowns Act. The first bill would provide that as long as we're shut down, and I'll explain why in a moment, as long as we're shut down, no member of Congress can be paid. And the money will not be reimbursed at a later date or repaid at a later date. The second bill, to address any 27th Amendment concerns, will say during the shutdown, members of Congress will not receive their pay, but their pay will be escrowed and they will receive it after the government is opened back up.
Interesting. So he's got 2 options. 1, no pay, ever, or no pay and we'll pay you later. It'll be interesting to see how those bills fare. I don't see them getting very far.
Look, we're in day 36. Like you, Mr. President, I've heard a lot of rumors about we're that close to reaching an agreement. We've been that close for a week. Frankly, I hope I'm wrong in saying this, but I don't think we're really that close. I wish we were, and I hope we are. But I think we're
going to be seeing many more days of this shutdown. Here's President Trump more on his interview with Bret Baier, talking about getting rid of the filibuster, the nuclear option, as it's called.
Never win this. A few more things. You said Republicans should get rid of the filibuster. Yeah. Based on what you said this morning, you don't really think the Democrats could never win the Senate again, right?
No, I think that if we got rid of the filibuster, we would approve so many good things, common sense things, wonderful things, that it would be hard to beat us. If we don't, it's always going to be a slog. So I do say this. I would say absolutely, without question, I have no doubt in my mind, get rid of it. And the Republicans should do it. But they have a number of Republicans that don't agree. And you know what? It's a question. Do I want to lose my relationship with those Republicans that have been very good to me for a long period of time, that voted against the crooked Democrats on impeachment and everything else? Do I want to lose them over it? I think it's a very important point. Do you ever have people that are wrong, but you can't convince them? So do you destroy your whole relationship with them or not? I'd be close to losing it, but probably not.
A few more things. You said
the filibuster, the nuclear option, Trump pushing for it, Democrats and Republicans pushing back. Speaker Johnson, 11 hours ago, at what point do Democrats finally do the right thing? Talking with Sean Hannity. Air traffic controllers, SNAP benefits, our military, all being hurt by the shutdown. It's clear to everyone that Democrats care more about their political careers than the people they claim to represent. Here he is.
They care about the people. Between air traffic controllers, SNAP benefits, our military, at what point is there a breaking point and some people in that party wake up and understand this is damaging and hurting a lot of Americans all across the board?
Yeah, exactly. They care more about their own political careers than they care about the people that they claim to represent. And that's why you're seeing these broad demographic shifts into the Republican Party. People are tired of this. You know, the Democrats funded a study that just came out a couple weeks ago, and their own study identified the Democrat Party is said to be thought of as weak and woke and out of touch. And they're proving that every day. They just simply don't care about the people anymore.
You know, 42 million Americans are without SNAP benefits, and of course their dependents won't be fed. Gunter Eagleman posts this 6 hours ago. Democrats are about to bend the knee to President Trump that would end the Schumer shutdown. Democrats are weighing a deal. There's nothing else that should be attached to the 24-page CR. Pass it as is. Stop harming the American people.
Or early next. There's a lot of movement right now, Dana, behind the scenes to try to reopen the government. There was a historically long government shutdown, 37 days, the longest ever in history, and the consequences piling up by the day for the American people, which means that the pressure really is on at this key moment. Democrats are weighing a deal that would reopen the government either until the end of this year or early next year, tied to a larger funding package for several agencies. But one of the key questions remains about whether Democrats will accept a vote to extend expiring Obamacare subsidies. Remember, that was at the heart of this dispute to begin with. They had said that those expiring subsidies must be dealt with as part of this negotiation, as part of this funding bill, because people will see their premiums increase, and it must be dealt with now. But what Republicans are offering is a separate vote not tied to the funding bill. The question is going to be if enough Democrats say, okay, fine, we have to vote to reopen the government, and we'll vote on this later, even though there's no commitment that that separate health care vote could ultimately become law. I put that question to one of the key Democratic negotiators, Jean Shaheen of New Hampshire. I asked her about the Democratic concern from many of her colleagues about putting this to a separate vote and the potential that that could never become law. If that can't pass, the ACA vote, then
It's like I just said. Yeah, sure, we'll sign it. Let's see the bill. Oh, we don't like the bill. We're not going to sign it.
Well, it's not clear that it can't pass. There are a lot of Republicans who I've been talking to who think we need to address the issue.
But the Speaker's not committed to put it on the floor.
Well, I can't speak for the Speaker. If he doesn't understand that people can't afford their health insurance rates, then he's got a problem.
I'm not promising anybody anything. I'm going to let this process play out.
I'm not promising anybody anything. Here is Mike Johnson 24 hours ago talking about a tragedy in California.
Listen to what a state like Texas. I'll make a comment about the tragedy in California last night. What California did is very, very different, as you all know. by comparison to what a state like Texas did. Texas was following the federal and state constitution, following their state law and redistricting. California was not. They had to trample over their own state law, over their own independent redistricting commission that they had all put into place. It was a desperation, a sign of desperation on the Democrat Party. It was a game to try to rig the election, as if you could gerrymander California anymore. They managed to do it.
There's a special place in hell, says Representative Jim McGovern. Special place in hell for people who rip food away from hungry children. Representative Jim McGovern, a Democrat. Who's ripping food from who, buddy? All you guys need are 6 votes.
40 million. Republicans are choosing to go after nutrition assistance. Trump is doing this because he is a bad person. He's a lousy president and an even worse human being. He's weaponizing hunger and trying to rip food away from more than 40 million Americans, including 16 million children, for sadistic political leverage. How dare he? How dare he exploit the pain of hungry Americans? How dare he make working folks choose between health care and food? How dare he start?
Oh, how dare you throw lies around like that? All you need are, 5, 6 votes, and you got this thing passed. You get the money starts to flow again. Who's holding those people hostage? Senate Majority Leader Thune on the Senate floor.
What more needs to happen for the far left to be satisfied? The pain this shutdown has caused is only getting worse. 40 million Americans who rely on food assistance programs are now at risk of going hungry without a resolution to the shutdown. I'm sure these Americans are doing everything in their power to feed their families, but they can't do that forever. Federal workers have now gone without pay for more than a month, including the people in this building. Will the far left not be satisfied until federal workers and military families are getting their Thanksgiving dinner from a food bank? Because that's where we're headed.
Or short of planes falling from the sky, right? Yeah, that was revealed earlier this week. U.S. Trade Representative Ambassador Greer on the shutdown. Anytime you have to curtail transportation, it's going to have an impact.
One of the great advantage. What is your expectation of the impact on this from this shutdown on the economy?
Well, I mean, listen, anytime you're having to curtail transportation, which is one of the great advantages we have in the United States, we have this vast internal market, we have great transportation systems and networks and hubs, but when that's hobbled because the Democrats won't open the government, obviously that's going to have an economic impact just on economic activity. I mean, it's just crazy to me. So I'm hoping that we can move forward, that the rational Democrats can, join their few colleagues that have voted for it, and then we can get this government reopened and get the country humming.
If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. You see, the shutdown isn't about money. It's about power. Democrats held America hostage for weeks, watching federal workers suffer while they played politics. Now they're begging for mercy because Trump has called their bluff. He's ready to end the filibuster and unleash an agenda that terrifies the establishment. They know once that gate opens, there's no going back. The swamp's favorite weapon, endless obstruction, dies forever. So here's my question for the comments. Should Trump pull the trigger and get them to end the filibuster once and for all? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments. This is the moment that defines whether we're a republic run by the people or a bureaucracy run by career politicians. The choice is binary and the consequences are permanent. If you want to show where you stand, check out our merch shop. It's linked in the description. Real patriots wear their principles.